Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 6, Book 60, number 95. Narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas. That once he stayed overnight, in the house, of his aunt Maimuna, the wife of the Prophet. He added, I lay on the cushion transversely and Allah's apostle lay along with his wife in the lengthwise direction of the pillow. Allah's apostle slept till the middle of the night, either a bit before or a bit after it, and then woke up rubbing the traces of sleep off his face with his hands, and then he recited the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Imran, got up and went to a hanging water skin. He then performed the ablution from it, and it was perfect ablution, and then stood up to offer the prayer. I too did the same as he had done, and then went to stand beside him. Allah's apostle put his right hand on my head and held and twisted my right ear. He then offered 2 rakat, then 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 2 rakat, and finally 1 rakah, the witr. Then he lay down again till the muadhin, i.e. the call-maker, came to him, whereupon he got up and offered a light 2 rakat prayer, and went out, to the mosque, and offered the compulsory congregational Fajr prayer. Volume 6, Book 60, number 96. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. That once he stayed overnight in the house of his aunt, the wife of the Prophet. He added, I lay on the cushion transversely while Allah's apostle lay along with his wife in the lengthwise direction of cushion. Allah's apostle slept till the middle of the night, either a bit before or a bit after it, and then woke up rubbing the traces of sleep off his face with his hands, and then recited the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Imran. Then he got up and went to a hanging water skin, performed ablution from it, and performed it perfectly. Then he stood up to perform the prayer. I also did the same 3s he had done and then went to stand beside him. Allah's apostle put his right hand on my head and held and twisted my right ear. He then offered 2 rakat, then 2 rakat, then 2 rakat, then 2 rakat, then 2 rakat, and finally, 1 rakah witr. Then lay down again till the muadhin, i.e. the call-maker, came to him, whereupon he got up and offered a light 2 rakat prayer and went out, to the mosque, and offered the compulsory congregational Fajr prayer. Volume 6, Book 60, number 97. Narrated by Aisha. There was an orphan girl under the care of a man. He married her and she owned a date palm garden. He married her just because of that and not because he loved her. So the divine verse came regarding his case. If you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphan girls. 4.3, the sub-narrator added, I think he, i.e. another sub-narrator, said, that orphan girl was his partner in that date palm garden, and in his property. Volume 6, Book 60, number 98. Narrated by Urwa bin Az Zubair. That he asked Aisha regarding the statement of Allah, if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphan girls. 4.3, she said, O son of my sister, an orphan girl used to be under the care of a guardian with whom she shared property. Her guardian, being attracted by her wealth and beauty, would intend to marry her without giving her a just mahr, i.e. the same mahr as any other person might give her, in case he married her. So such guardians were forbidden to do that unless they did justice to their female wards and gave them the highest mahr their peers might get. They were ordered, by Allah, to marry women of their choice other than those orphan girls. Aisha added, the people asked Allah's apostle his instructions after the revelation of this divine verse, whereupon Allah revealed, they ask your instruction regarding women. 4.127. Aisha further said, and the statement of Allah, and yet whom you desire to marry. 4.127, as any one of you refrains from marrying an orphan girl under his guardianship, when she is lacking in property and beauty. Aisha added, so they were forbidden to marry those orphan girls for whose wealth and beauty they had a desire unless with justice. And that was because they would refrain from marrying him if they were lacking in property and beauty. Volume 6, Book 60, number 99. Narrated by Aisha. Regarding the statement of Allah, and whoever amongst the guardian is rich, he should take no wages, but if he is poor, let him have for himself what is just and reasonable, according to his work. This verse was revealed regarding the orphan's property. If the guardian is poor, he can take from the property of the orphan what is just and reasonable according to his work and the time he spends on managing it. Volume 6, Book 60, number 100. Narrated by Ikrimah. Ibn Abbas said, regarding the verse, and when the relatives and the orphans and the poor are present at the time of division, this verse and its order is valid and not abrogated. Volume 6, Book 60, number 101. Narrated by Jabir. The Prophet and Abu Bakr came on foot to pay me a visit, during my illness, at Banu Salama's dwellings. The Prophet found me unconscious, so he asked for water and performed the ablution from it, and sprinkled some water over it. I came to my senses and said, O Allah's Apostle, what do you order me to do as regards my wealth? So there was revealed, Allah commands you as regards your children's inheritance. 4.11. Volume 6, Book 60, number 102. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. In the pre-Islamic period, the children used to inherit all the property, but the parents used to inherit only through a will. So Allah cancelled that which he liked to cancel and decreed that the share of a son was to be twice the share of a daughter, and for the parents 1/6 for each one of them, or 1/3, and for the wife 1/8 or 1/4, and for the husband 1/2, or 1/4. Volume 6, Book 60, number 103. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Regarding the divine verse, O you who believe, you are forbidden to inherit women against their will, and you should not treat them with harshness that you may take back part of the dower you have given them. 4.19. Before this revelation, if a man died, his relatives used to have the right to inherit his wife, and one of them could marry her if he would, or they would give her in marriage if they wished. Or, if they wished, they would not give her in marriage at all, and they would be more entitled to dispose her than her own relatives. So the above verse was revealed in this connection.